So, Mitch McConnell blocked the $2,000 checks because he's protecting us against socialism from the rich, or socialism for the rich. So thank God that Mitch McConnell is there in Washington, D.C. protecting us against socialism for the rich. Thank God. What we know is everything. It is our limit of what we can be. One of the best ways to achieve justice is to expose injustice. Nonconformity is the only real passion worth being ruled by. You have to start with the truth. The truth is the only way that we can get anywhere, because any decision-making that is based upon lies or ignorance can't lead to a good conclusion. Big Brother is home. He is installed in the item you just dragged home from the Apple store. The only way to keep a secret is to never have one. Courage is not the absence of fear. Only fools have no fear. Rather, courage is the intellectual mastery of fear by understanding the true risk and opportunities of the situation and keeping those things in balance. Where they couldn't pick holes in our arguments, they would drive horses and carriages through my character. The West has fiscalized its basic power relationships through a web of contracts, loans, shareholdings, bank holdings, and so on. In such an environment, it is easy for speech to be free because the change in political rarely leads to any change in these basic instruments. Western speech as something that rarely has any effect on power is like badgers and birds, free. In states like China, there is pervasive censorship because speech still has power, and power is scared of it. We should always look at censorship as an economic signal that reveals the potential power of speech in that jurisdiction. The world is not sliding but galloping into a new transnational dystopia. This development has not been properly recognized outside of national security circles. It has been hidden by secrecy, complexity, and scale. The Internet, our greatest tool of emancipation, has been transformed into the most dangerous facilitator of totalitarianism we've ever seen. The Internet is a threat to human civilization. These transformations have come about silently because those who know what is going on work in the global surveillance industry and have no incentives to speak out. Left to its own trajectory, within a few years, global civilization will be a postmodern surveillance dystopia from which escape for all but the most skilled individuals will be impossible. In fact, we may already be there. While many writers have considered what the Internet means for global civilization, they are wrong. They are wrong because they do not have the sense of perspective that direct experience brings. They are wrong because they have never met the enemy. The sense of perspective that interaction with multiple cultures gives you, I find to be extremely valuable because it allows you to see the structure of a country with greater clarity and gives you a sense of mental independence. A great number of those working for liberal causes are not only shy but borderline collusive. They want change to happen nicely, and it won't. They want decency to come about without anybody suffering or being embarrassed, and it won't. And most of all, they want to give many of the enemies of an open government the benefit of the doubt, and I don't. It's not just a difference of approach. It's a complete schism in our respective philosophy. You can't go about disclosure in the hope that it won't spoil anybody's dinner. Power is a thing of perception. They don't need to be able to kill you. They just need you to think that they are able to kill you. So when Putin goes out to buy a Coke, 30 seconds later it is known in Washington, D.C. Google's colorful, playful logos imprinted on human retinas just under 6 billion times each day, 2.1 trillion times a year, an opportunity for respondent conditioning enjoyed by no other company in history. Cryptography is the ultimate form of non-violent direct action. Reality is an aspect of property. It must be seized. And investigative journalism is the noble art of seizing reality back from the powerful. Consistency was a matter of style and values, not where you parked your car. Vanity in a newspaper man is like perfume on a whore. They use it to fend off a dark whiff of themselves. The Internet has become a political space. I just think that is one of the most important developments in the past decade. There's just one quote that I liked, so we'll just get to the diamond. I remember hearing this when he first said this. Every time we witness an injustice and do not act, we train our character to be passive in its presence and thereby eventually lose all ability to defend ourselves and those we love. In a modern economy, it is impossible to seal oneself off from injustice. If we have brains or courage and we are blessed and called on not to frick these qualities away, standing agape at the ideas of others, winning pissing contests and proving the efficiencies of the neo-corporate state, or immersing ourselves in obscuranta, but rather to prove the vigor of our talents against the strongest opponents of love we could find. If we can only live once, and let it be a daring adventure that draws on all our powers, let it be with similar types whose hearts and heads we may be proud of. Let our grandchildren delight to find the start of our stories in their ears, but the endings are around in their wondering eyes. The whole universe, or the structure that perceives it, is a worthy opponent, but try as I may, I cannot escape the sound of suffering. Perhaps as an old man I will take great comfort in pottering around in a lab and gently talking to students in the summer evening, and will accept suffering with insouciance, but not now. Men in their prime, if they have convictions, are tasked to act on them. Free Julian Assange. Force the vote. Peace.